Tell me about yourself in 3 words.
Oh my God, what is that? Curious, empathic, technical.
Wow, good combination. Curious, empathic, and technical. Selamat pagi, siang, sore, malam, dan hari apa aja untuk teman-teman semua. Saat ini kita semua kedatangan tamu keren banget di acara M-Target Podcast Stories Worth Telling. This one is truly stories worth telling. Bullseyes. Oke. Dan kali ini spesial karena kita akan melakukannya dalam bilingual, 2 bahasa. Jadi campur sari, campur aduk. Oke, nanti akan ada translate-nya di bawah. Jadi tenang aja, no worries sama sekali. Oke, kita langsung aja nih. Di sini ada Mas Yusuf Syahid. Sekarang ini beliau sebagai CTO Jumpstart. But let me allow Mas Yusuf himself introduce himself in a very unique way. Please let people know who is Yusuf Syahid. Okay.
Hi everybody. Thank you, Mr. Yupi, for having me on your show, M-Targets, Bullseye. And who am I? In my introduction, what I can say, my fingerprints went to the bottom of the sea, like the deepest point on the planet. My name is on Mars, and my DNA went to Antarctica. And also every single Gojek jacket and helmet has a chip inside it made by me. There's 2 million of them chips running around on the streets in Indonesia.
Wow. Okay. This is so interesting because your fingerprints went to the bottom of the sea. So jadi teman-teman, fingerprintsnya Mas Yusuf ini pernah nyampe ke laut terdalam di dunia ini nih. Can you tell us about that? Okay, your fingerprints to the bottom of the sea and your name is on Mars. Oh wow.
Yeah. The name on Mars is not so fancy because you can just daftar your name in the NASA website, and then it made it on the rovers. So Curiosity, the 2 rovers that went to Mars, they had an opening. You could put your name, and then your name could fly to Mars with the rover. So that's what I did for Perseverance and Curiosity. So that was a long time ago. But for the bottom of the sea, you guys have watched the movie Avatar, right? By James Cameron, the director. Yeah. So in 2011, I was working in Australia, and I'm actually Australian. So then his company came to our company and asked us for an underwater communication system. I said, why? Because James Cameron wants to build a submarine, Kapal Selam, to go to the bottom of the sea, to become the 3rd person ever in history, to go to the bottom of the sea, the most deepest point on the planet, Challenger Deep in the Marianas Trench. Yeah. So I was walking around in the office with the modems. We built the modems for him, the underwater communication system. And I was walking around like this, like on my shoulder, like, yay, these will take James Cameron to the bottom of the sea. It's like, so then my fingerprints is all over these modems, right? I did the testing on them as well. So, I couldn't believe it, yeah.
Oh, wow. So eventually James Cameron is so obsessed with the depth of the sea. Yeah? He built Titanics just to dive in, and then so that's your cans or your bottles?
The outside of the bottle, the bottle that I had, it was just a representation of the modem. So it's if you look on the Deep Sea Challenge.
So the material.
Yeah, so it's a titanium barrel modem, like underwater communication system. So he can do the world's deepest tweet from the distance was 12,000 meters.
Yes.
12,000 meters distance from the top of the water to the bottom of the sea. 12,000 meters. It's so crazy.
Oh wow.
But I tell you
from
a story about that, the background why, like when I was a little kid, right? When I was growing up, I didn't have internet. I didn't have, my dad sold a TV. All I had was books, right? So I had books. I just read the book. And I found one book. It had mankind's 20th, most achievements, like wow achievements of mankind back in that time. And I was reading it, and one of the story was the first two people to go to the bottom of the sea in 1960. So there's a Don Picard and Don Walsh and Jacques Picard. There's two people went to the bottom of the sea in 1960, sponsored by Rolex. And then I couldn't believe it that I'm in 2011 helping the next third person ever to go to the bottom of the sea. It's like
that was Mariana Trench.
Yes.
Oh, I remember one movie about that, The Abyss.
Yeah.
You know that The Abyss, Ed Harris, like they go to the deepest and they met with aliens. Back then.
Yeah,
that was the first movie I saw when I was a kid. So it like core memories for me. So when you said that you made modem that can transmit from the deepest of the sea, wow, that was amazing. But first, let me drink my coffee. My coffee is from Jumpstart. Okay.
Thank you very much for supporting us.
So Jumpstart is actually very helpful for us. Like, this is the one problem we're facing. I'm collecting many of coffee maker from the espresso makers, terus apalagi ya 560. But the problem is that humans are lazy. they just want instant but good coffee. So Jumpstart has a very good coffee. So
how can you tell the coffee is good? How do you know that?
I bring some of my friends that coffee snob. For me, I drink hotel coffee. What can you say? But I have friends that they very picky at coffee, and I give them this Jumpstart coffee, and this is good actually. The Americano is very good.
Yeah.
The espresso also.
It's freshly ground, right? Freshly ground.
Yeah.
So it grinds it and then it serves it. Yeah. So you get that fresh taste.
Yeah. That's the thing. And we've been thinking about changing the machine into the ice one. Maybe we may show the place.
Yeah, why not?
Bigger now.
Talk to the sales, and they set you up with one.
Okay, so talk about Jumpstart. Since January 2022, you are now the CTO of Jumpstart. So tell me, because first you made Gojek helmet at Zulu.
Yeah,
we talked about it. Okay. How can you and I saw Pitik also. Pitik is one of the hottest startup right now.
Yep.
They got really huge funding.
Yep. Yeah, $14 million they got from
for Series A. It's very
Alpha
big.
JWC with Wavemaster and some other guys. Yeah. So which story would you want to hear first?
Okay. Let me hear that. Let me hear from Jumpstart back to Pitik and back to Zulu. Okay.
Oh, so actually the Zulu was the first one. So that was my original. But from now, we can walk backwards. Jumpstart, I joined them before as just a hardware consultant. So their investor, they referred me to Jumpstart. Say, hey, Yusuf, can you please help these guys out? They need some help on the hardware side of things. Because in Indonesia, and most places, we have so many software houses, right? Everyone can make an application, but not many people can make a hardware stuff, barang-barang, like offline, non-digital, offline stuff that, because we're humans, right? We're still analog. We still need interactions with physical objects. And that's how I came in as like an IoT consultant, so, yeah. And then I did some work for them, and then they turned me into the interim CTO.
Okay. Uh, your interest in IoT,
Yep.
starting from uh, I don't
From
know,
small.
is it your very first passion since you got clear thinking in your youth? I want to be an IoT uh, consultant.
I mean, there's probably two things. There's two topics inside that question. Is I always like to help people, and I was always curious about how things work. How does it work? So when I was younger, I remember I had my dad's, the headlamp. So I opened the headlamp, and then I broke the headlamp because I want to know how it works. How does this light work? So I did that from then until now. I can open any kind of system and understand how it works from a hardware point of view. So, and then once you know how it works, then you know how to fix it. So for example, Jumpstart had some issues with some hardware, some vending machine stuff. How do I fix it? Because I had my previous experience of, fixing things, I can quickly go in and say, oh, you need to do this. That's the same with Pitik. Pitik, they started with 4 engineers, right? I came in, there was no CTO, there was no IoT people. It was just Arif and Raymax and 4 engineers. And then I said, hey, but Yusuf, can you help us make a technical roadmap? We need to monitor these kandang ayam because 1 degree of temperature drop and like 6,000 ayam can die. Or
Yes.
if the PLN, the electricity mati, the whole kandang is dead. It's so critical. It's like the monitoring system for ayam for their field is mission critical, basically. So I basically help with their side on the mission critical electronics. So from the hardware point of view. So when people say about IoT, I say it's normally like a computer chip with a internet connection. That's at the basic level. Before we never had the term IoT, right? So we didn't know about that. So then that's how I helped them. And then going back again to like Zulu time, again, the CEO, he approached me when I was at a different company and said, hey, I need a hardware person to help me with my startup. So I said, okay, can become your co-founder. And then from there, I got the patent for Indonesia's first Bluetooth helmet. So this is separate to the Gojek helmet. So we built Indonesia's first Bluetooth helmet. We patented, so we got the patent underneath Zulu's name. And then after that, I can bring the helmet, right? So I can show you. So we made the first the Gojek. This is the first prototype of the Gojek helmet I made back in 2019. So the second prototype went to Rich Brian for the marketing campaign for Gojek. Rich Brian I made it for Rich Brian, so I put it together, blah blah. We sent it to him. So this is the first. Now only this year they started to sell it. So it has the Bluetooth headset, so the driver can talk to the end user without putting the phone inside the helmet, right? So it's just a Bluetooth headset, just like a normal Bluetooth.
Yeah. Is it sell publicly for now?
At the moment, they just released it this year. They released it to the drivers first, yeah, because I think the drivers, they have some Cicilan service for the helmet. But maybe we need
that for our team. No, it's different purpose, like stalking maybe, but no. But that was awesome. You got the first patent at Zulu, and this all happened just in 2 years, right?
Yeah. So in that 2 years, when I joined Zulu in the end of 2016, we straight away we started on the Bluetooth helmet R&D, research and development. And we made some prototypes. We did all in-house stuff, and we got some assembly made in China, and then we made it's still in progress until now. And then we did some other projects as well, monitoring for the air quality as well. So that split off, and they made another company called Nafas on that one. But for me, it was all a learning. Like I learn. That was my first time as a co-founder, as a CTO. And just learning how to drive between business people and the technical, like if it doesn't make business sense, why do it? Like a lot of people would jump on the IoT. I want IoT in my company. I said, do you have a business model? Does it support it? Can you make money with it? No. Then there's no point, right? So yeah, it's like, it's a lot of learning journey for me. So
true. For some startups, some things are just nice to have, but it doesn't really solve any specific problems. So startup founders, we call it like jebakan Batman. You know, some founders like, well, I want to build something cool, something canggih. But you know, it doesn't solve any problem, so it's just canggih.
Yeah, talking about that canggih one is like back in when I was in Zulu, we got the project because remember Gojek, they changed the logo, right, from the motorbike to the bundar, right? Yeah. So Zulu got the contract to do the design for the helmet and also for make the production of the jackets. So
the jacket also have Bluetooth?
No, the jacket has a smart chip that I put inside it. So it's for logistics. So this is a supply chain technology for supply chain. So it's basically for the inventory from the factory to the gudang of Gojek. So when they're inbound, because we had to deliver 1.2 million jackets in 6 months. 6 months to make 1.2 million jackets.
Wow.
That was at the end of 2019. That was like crazy. Imagine if you're the warehouse guy and you have to open and count every single box of jackets. You go crazy. And And then the old system was like, they open the box, they write it on a notepad, and then they put it on Google Sheets, and then they upload it to SAP. Whereas now, after I put in the RFID chips, the smart chip, it's the same technology like they use in Uniqlo. So I talked to the COO back then, Pak Hans Patuo. I said, Pak, if you're going to implement this, if you're going to do your these new attributes, these new apparel for the drivers, they're going to be so much. To make it easy for the back end for the inventory management system, I suggest you put in RFID chips technology. And with his support, I managed, I could, put it in through. So it was my idea in the beginning, and he sent me to Bangalore, to India, so I could teach his software developers how to use the hardware technology of RFID. So, and then by the end of until now, they're still doing the manufacturing, and every single shop, wrong brand, GoFood bag, helmet.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, did you lose me or something? Or
no, the internet connection maybe at some point when you said the helmet, the GoFood bag and the helmet, and then everything silent.
Sorry.
Until now it's okay.
It's all right now. Okay, sorry.
Yeah. Oh, so those IoT hardware connect. I think you can make any hardware into an Internet of Things base. Yeah. But the purpose is does it make more productive or is there any significance numbers or percentage that because we put the chip on the Gojek driver's jacket, this numbers of percentage of productivity.
Yeah, I can share you the so for example, before the RFID system, the CEO back then, Pak Kevin Alwi, we had a meeting, and he was like complaining or mentioning that every quarter they lose $24,000 worth of inventory, like it's gone, missing. So I'm like, okay, then so that was one. And then the time taken to process each of the inbounding all of these apparel into their warehouse, it took like 10 minutes to at least to inbound like one box of 50 jackets. So after the RFID, we implemented RFID, it took 3 seconds to inbound 50 jackets. So you can imagine, like you just scan one box, 50 straight away into inventory management system, done. And then for the inventory management later on, when we give to the driver, so the driver has to scan the QR code of the driver, the ID, and then they scan the QR code that's on top of the helmet and the jacket. So nothing can leave the warehouse unless it's scanned. So then it became zero loss from 24,000 USD per quarter. Now it's zero loss, like in, yeah.
Oh, wow.
So that's what we saved just by implementing the RFID technology. This is a small bit of IoT. It's nothing too fancy. It's just a smart label. Yeah, we could manage to have that kind of impact for Gojek back then. Yeah.
Like a few years ago, IoT is like buzzword. In Indonesia, especially, we saw this as smart lamps, smart door lock, smart anything. But and I thought about it like, this is a very nice to have for me. But now I'm using smart lamp, and then I'm using like colokan listrik yang you can control it.
Yes.
And one day I went to US and saw like everything's connected with this one Google Spot. Yes, Nest. Yeah, Google Nest. Like very, very sophisticated and wow. I think maybe a few years to come in the future, we're going to have it in Indonesia. And it's very efficient in terms of electricity. In terms of security also.
So when you look back at that kind of implementations of the smart home, for example, you're coming to Indonesia, there's always going to be a cost barrier and an adoption barrier, right? So when people get used to these things, when normally in every house we have an omba or a sopir that can just open the door and close the door and stuff, they can see who's at the front. On your phone, like, oh, who's at the front gate, and you can even unlock the front gate remotely as well, if you know the person. So there's so much there, but then also the use cases as well, right? So whatever brings the value in the end for the customer, that is the most important, right? Whatever makes our life easier, because in the end we're super lazy and we're just going to get technology that's going to help us be lazy.
Yeah. That's true. So, well, what do you think about the implementation of IoT in Indonesia? What's the nearest thing? Like now, Pitik using IoT, Gojek using IoT. Most businesses using IoT. But in terms of daily life, what's the nearest tools, hardware that are going to be used by Indonesian people for IoT?
Just put your hand in your pocket and pull out that piece of silicon plastic metal with the big screen. That's the first IoT.
Oh,
your phone is the first IoT. Like
wow. Yeah, everything controlled by the phone. So
because the phone is actually what we say about IoT is actually data acquisition, right? Mm-hmm. It's to collect data from a digital point of view, so we can send data to a server, data from anywhere, gitu. So the phone is collecting all of our human profiling data, right? The IoT is collecting data about environmental from different kind of sensors out there, so there's different sensors that's probably more important for Indonesians or in Jakartans, that air quality, right? We need to know the air quality out there. But now everybody's wearing masks because of the pandemic, but of course we still need to continue to keep wearing the mask because of the air pollution as well. It's not just take it off when we want to, because we can't see the pollutants.
That's why you mentioned napas, right?
Yeah. The other one was I'm not part of them anymore, or not part of them. It's just they're just running on the side, so I just thought I'd just mention that. But the other kind of IoT is like everybody has the the flash card or the e-money card, or the tap to pay, that kind of stuff. That's already another kind of IoT, right? So it's all like a digital footprint that we are using that has a physical footprint as well. So it's both has a digital and a physical footprint. So you could say that that's an IoT as well, because the backend systems are connected to the internet and connected to some server running somewhere, But some people, they don't understand, like they just, as you said, it's a buzzword before, and they just want it in their company. They just want to implement it. which is what happened to, like, you can see some examples of like Bukalapak and Sinarmas. They suddenly opened a full IoT division, out of the blue. And then for what? Well, and then why? Because it wasn't making any money, it wasn't relevant, or it wasn't, there was no product market fit. Ideally, when a company like that, those huge companies, they should be using the IoT as a, not as a cost center, but it's something that is to give them value in the future, because it's collecting data. The more data that we have, then the more better we can run our AI and machine learning algorithms. Those things need the data from the IoT. If you don't have enough data, then your recommendations won't be so accurate, won't be so good on point. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, so talk about data.
Sorry, it's a lot of stuff.
Yeah. No. Talk about data. It's there are always two sides to every story. So, but now I from my standpoint, this is my single opinion. In Indonesia, when we talk about data, they take a look at it from the negative standpoint. Data used to stalk you, data used to intip, and because of the breach of the data recently, people like, you dimata-matain di sini gitu dengan IoT. So can you elaborate in the use of the data, the good use, actually?
Yeah, I mean, for example, that was funny, like people getting paranoid over the data. Like, for example, when I first put the chips inside the helmets, the drivers, they discovered the chips, and then they made a big thing that, Gojek is tracking us now in real time. So now you have to, what they did was they had a campaign where they told all the drivers to bongkar the helmet, take out the chip, and burn the chip. And then I was like laughing my head off. I'm like, what are you guys doing?
Yeah.
It's just a barcode. Why are you burning the barcode? No. And Gojek is tracking you via the application anyway. Like, as long as your application is on, Gojek knows where you are. Like, you don't have to burn the small barcode inside the helmet. Anyway, so the good things of data, like, again, how do I say this? For example, the Jakarta Smart City, the Transjakarta, the buses, they a few years ago they started to implement GPS tracking inside the buses, right? Yeah. So before they didn't have the data to tell them the benefits of Ganjil Genap, right? So Ganjil Genap, when that came into force, the buses could get affected by less macet, right? So the bus lanes became more efficient, more on time. And that's what they found when they put in the GPS trackers in the buses. And then they also, from that data, they could also see which areas were still not covered by Transjakarta buses. So then that could enable their operations to say, hey, we need to put some buses on these routes because we don't cover these routes. So it's more about business optimization, Yeah. And that's the same, like, for example, in Jumpstart, we use actually an AI to monitor all of the vending machines and to tell us exactly when to refill the vending machines. It's not scheduled by people anymore. We just tell the AI, hey, AI, we have 1,700 machines out there, and we need to keep them topped up of coffee and all of the other ingredients, and for servicing and stuff. And the AI will schedule automatically our staff. So our technical staff when to fix the machines, and our refillers when to go out and refill. Before, when Jumpstart first started, the boss he used to manually do the scheduling for 30 machines, and he did it all in Excel. Like how much work every day just to keep track of that and to monitor that. But then now we just offload it to an AI, and the AI does it for us. So that's the future of business operations. If you could offload that kind of thing. So in the end, we're working forward to so nanti we want to be able to order stuff from our suppliers via the AI. So the AI will control that as well, depending on the real-time sales of all of monitoring of all of our machines. Yeah.
Oh wow, that was very cool. in jumpstart machine in our office, the guy, the human intelligence guy,
Yeah.
he only didn't come when it was very hard raining here, but every time, maybe before the water is runs out, before the coffees runs out,
Yep.
he's always shows like, I asked him like, do you like sit near our office, like three steps, and then and I read Harry Potter, like he's like Dobby, the elf, the helper, yes, the elf, like wow, showed up, and just in time. That's very, very cool. I think
that's because of the AI. Yep. So we put a lot of limits in the AI, not limits, but we gave the AI a lot of information on how to improve our customer experience. So we don't want the machine to be empty and then you find out, oh, this is empty. So so the AI helps us. Yeah, it's all the AI behind the scenes. Yeah, maybe we should name our AI Dobby.
Dobby, the elf of Harry Potter. That's why our usage month to month is also growing.
Like, even if you should try that. Try order as much as you can from the machine and see if you can make the machine run out.
Okay. Nice try. Okay, teman-teman nih, ini ada satu lagi nih yang paling keren banget ya. Pokoknya beda banget dari tadi kita ngomongin IoT. Sekarang tuh kita ngomongin yang mana lagi? Mas Yusuf Said ini bahkan terlibat dalam pembuatan film, eksekutif produser. Wah, can you tell me about it, Mas Yusuf? So it's like, well, we talk about IoT and now we talk about movie, and that one movie is good. Guess one, A Man Called Ahok. So can you tell us about it?
Sure. So it's that was a funny story too. Like because my kids, they go to school, and then one of the dads, he just invited me. Hey, Yusuf, come to the cafe. I was like, why? I just come. I said, okay. I go there on my motorbike and I have a look. And then when I get to the table, he gives me this big, thick lot of paper. Goes, boom, here, read this. And I'm like, oh, what is this? I open it. Oh, it's a script. And I say, oh, man, called Ahok, blah, blah, blah. And then I read at the back, the last page, there's a letter. And it says, it's from Pa Ahok. He says, I give you permission to make this movie based on the book by Mr. Kurawa, A Man Called Ahok, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, whoa, he got actual permission to do this. So then I was like, cool. So I came from Australia. I've only been in Indonesia for like 5 years. And I was born and bred in Australia. And then, I'm a Muslim as well, because, you can tell by my name. And what happened to Mr. Ahok, not to want to politicize it, but it's like, it doesn't seem fair, somebody says two sentences and straight into jail, So that's where I came in. I was like feeling like that, right? And then my friend, he goes, oh, can you give me some money? I'm like, huh? Yeah, just help with the development. I'm like, I'm not a rich guy. I was like, yeah, just do something. And I was like, oh, okay. So, how much you need? So, oh, here you go. There you go. So then that became like, that started the development for the beginning of the movie. So then we can get all the other investors and stuff again. So that's why I can say that I was the first investor in the movie. And then my name is on IMDb because of that movie. I was like, whoa, my name is in IMDb.
So your name is on the bottom of the sea on Mars and IMDb. and all the helmet.
A lot of these things I didn't look for, right? All of these fancy stuff, experiences, I didn't look for the fancy experience. It just happened to me as I was doing my work, as I was following my passion of helping people and just getting in there and, trying to help. So that's why I want to give the support for like that Ahok movie, because I felt it wasn't fair. So like, Yoda just support it, blah, blah. But some people, they gave some support, like some investors, but they didn't want to put their name on the movie because they were scared of some backlash from so some other groups. So from some because you get some threats against your life and stuff like that. It's scary. So that's what happened too. And then after that, I did that. So they invited me to a couple of the shootings. So I got to meet some of the actors and actresses, Daniel Mananta and stuff. And we just got on. Went to my hometown in Perth. So he went to school there. I was like, oh, okay, cool. So there's like, when you do something and it's a social thing, right? We can't expand your network, and that's how I see like life. You just keep expanding and helping people, and just keep, making good memories and people. But I didn't go looking for that, it just happened.
I totally agree. Like, you can tell people by their vibe, when you met someone. Is this guy looking, you can just tell it, your gut feeling, your hunch that, this guy looking for fame. This guy is just doing some kind thing. So we have posters here. One of it says that langit tidak perlu membuktikan dirinya tinggi. So it's like I think it's like resonate your what you are doing. Like you don't need to prove anything to anyone. You just do kind things, and you just do your passion, and then suddenly everything falls into places for you. Like nah, ini buat teman-teman nih, ingat kalau kerja jangan cari popularitas, jangan cari buat dikenal orang apa segala macam. No, I believe like Einstein doing this also. He's just working on it, dan sekarang itu dia jadi the famous scientist, and Mas Yusuf juga sama. Saya ngelihat ada kemiripan Mas Yusuf dengan Einstein, the curiosity. Oh yeah. I did that too. I can bongkar anything, but I can fix it. I cannot fix it. So it's just my specialty is bongkar, not pasang. So it's bongkar pasang.
Bongkar pasang, yeah. But the curiosity, so it's all about your attitude, right? Your attitude in life. Yeah. If you have an open mind and just accept anything, and I mean, we can get baper, but don't be baper for too long. But you let your work talk for you. So people, when they see, they follow you, So like even all of my work, all of my kerja, and all of the different projects that I did, I chased after the technology stuff, but all of these opportunities, they came from friends, from my network. My friend introduced me, hey Yusuf, do you want to become this? Hey Yusuf, do you want to become CTO of Zulu? Do you want to help Jumpstart? Hey Yusuf, do you want to help Pitik? Can you help Pitik? They came to me, these opportunities. I didn't
look for it.
Yeah. And then these other people, they all refer to me, hey Yusuf, can you help another hydroponics company? Can you help another shrimp farming company? And then now I have my own thing, like I want to help Indonesian students build their own nano satellite and launch their own satellite. Like, come on, if Indian students can make their own satellite and launch it, why can't Indonesian students, So it's that kind of, like, just never stop dreaming, but we're still reasonable, we're not doing too many crazy stuff, but like I have so much experience from Australia, 16 years of work experience. Why, if I just keep quiet and just keep it for myself, it's kind of selfish, right? If I can help the same mistake that I made, it's, I guess, my giving back, so to speak. Yeah.
Wow, awesome. So it's a lot of young people are watching this, like, do things with your heart, like, for recently, like there's a trend in Indonesia, like, you need to build a startup to look fancy, or maybe some people, wow, you're so cool, but I don't think that's the way. I think the way you do your own startup, you do your own companies, like to help people, especially people around you, especially your team, especially make something useful.
Yeah.
So
that's the same. Like sorry, that's the same. Like okay, I'm the CTO of Jumpstart, but I also made my own consulting company, IoT consulting, on the side. So when that's how I did the Pitik, and how I can do some other future people as well. Because before, when I was, like, for example, as a CTO in the Zulu, I felt that sometimes some of my ideas wasn't accepted, or wasn't put forward, or my ideas was taken by someone else. And then at that time I felt, depressed and bad and stuff. But in the end, it was teaching me to become my own, to make my own, so I was growing in the pain that I was feeling before. So so now, having an IoT consultancy, people pay me for my advice, right? So whether they listen to it or not, they still paid me. So then I have that stability now. Whereas before, I got paid to be the staff, and then when I said something, it wasn't taken, so I feel bad, right? Because I'm part of the company. You should be listening to me. You should trust me, my experiences. Whereas now, as a consultant, I'm outside of the company, but I still can have an impact on the company. So either startups or corporates with any kind of hardware kind of products, development, stuff like that, I can be of service. Yeah.
Oh wow! That was so cool. So, so IoT is going to eat the world. Yeah. I believe that in terms of efficiency, in terms of productivity, but I don't think there's a lot of Indonesian student. Do you met any Indonesian student who, like, the community of students in Indonesia that are very passionate about IoT and made something out of it?
There is some, there is the, like, you've got the Association of IoT Indonesia, and you've got these other different groups. I mean, I from my own personal feeling, I feel like it's more for, like, lobbying to the government, or trying to get, more for a prestige kind of thing, rather than like a real grassroots impact. Grassroots impact. If I can help some orphan in the middle of Sulawesi, help him make his house off the grid so he can survive whenever the PLN turns off, that is way more impact for me than standing up on the stage and talking to people about what I've done. Because I can see the touch point. That guy appreciates me, and then he's happy. I know them, like, they see me on the big stage, whatever, but I don't know them, so there's not a one-on-one kind of connection. I think maybe that's what I'm kind of is, because I'm a high empathy technical person, which is pretty rare. Whereas normally you can either be high technical and then you're an introvert.
Zero empathy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Zero empathy, no technical. Yes. I understand. Totally understand that. Okay. But you're like, rare, like one of a kind, a technical guy, but having high empathy. Because I once read Peter Diamandis also, and Leonard Gerd, they're futurists. They said, like, the only things that machine cannot replace is empathy. The skill is empathy, and the negotiation skills. So this the younger generation needs to learn and to have this skills. But nowadays, like, empathy is slowly gone in our society. I kind of, like, irritated when I saw that in social media, like, one you supposed to be grieve, but the comment of netizen, we call it netizen here, the comments of netizen is like, heartbroken. Like they're so nyinyir, they're so apa. So I think empathy is one of the skill that you cannot learn it on the college, on this. You can't find it. Only life will teach you that empathy and the values.
Definitely, because only those things, through your life experiences, you can gain For example, a lot of movies, right? The sci-fi movies, that they can show you already what a world without empathy is, like Terminator, right? You take out empathy, we're gonna have a world of Terminator. The machine will just use us as food. So,
Skynet, the Skynet.
you know,
Are you building the Skynet with empathy right now? Your secret project.
Wherever there's humans, we have to have empathy, because the robots can recognize a smile, but the robots cannot feel the feeling of receiving that smile, right?
Yeah.
That's the in the end, when we talk to each other, we communicate with each other. All the different body cues and stuff. We can train the robot to recognize it, but it doesn't understand why we did it.
Yes, that's true. That's true.
Happy,
it
sad,
can recognize.
It can recognize that. But again, talking about the AI and that, it's still in the end is made by a person, and if that person can put some empathy into it somehow, then why not, right? Because in the end, we're all humans, and we still need the technology to help us, but not to make us their slave, basically, you know.
Oh, still, all back to us. Depend on us. Yeah, we are the most sophisticated AI machine ever built. Humans. Oh wow! And then,
sorry. Back to that about the empathy. How we can have the empathy is by sharing, and by sharing our experiences, so people will empathize with us based on our past experiences. That's why I joined another community called adplist.org. So I became a mentor on the platform, and then people from around the world are reaching out to me to mentor them. So like I just go there with no expectation, and then I listen to whatever they tell me their stories, and then I just give some feedback, and then they say thank you and bye. You know, I don't see them again. I never hear from them again. But then at least I know that somebody could help somebody some way around the world. You know, it's like not an ego trip, but it's like, you know, it makes you feel good too. Like, you know, why are we living? You know, you're trying to find your, you know, why am I existing and stuff too. That kind of reason. It's all along the line.
I just got a recent conversation with Emmanuel, our team. Like I told him, we are exist in this world is to create something, not to just live our life 9 to 5, or you know, like the routines of our daily life. But you know, we are exist here. You know, we've been given this like brains and empathy also. So I think we can make something better out of
we have like this such a short lifespan on the planet. So it's like every one of us has a dream and some, you know, wants and that we want to, goals that we want to achieve. So because there's only one of us in the whole world, that means that dream and that goal it's more precious than diamonds, right? So we should look after that, our dreams. Okay, there might be some obstacles in the way. We can either go around the obstacle, or when we have our ripple effect amongst the people, in the end it's like, if we can make as much good memories with everyone, then until we're gone, I guess, you know. It's about that kind of leaving a legacy, you know, kind of thing too. You know?
Yes. This was deep, very deep, you know, very deep. I've been thinking about it lately also. Like, what's your contribution to the world, to your environment and everything? But I think this one message really good to the younger generation here, and so. Teman-teman, saya kasih satu fun fact lagi nih, satu fakta mencengangkan lagi. Mas Yusuf ini adalah certified drone pilot. Jadi, you know, like as there's kayak apa ya? Selalu ada surprise. Drone pilot. I once navigate a drone, and I feel like I want to throw up. Very busy.
You're doing the FPV, right? Yeah, with the goggles.
Yeah. Very busy. So what do you do with your drones?
So that was back in Australia. So basically, before we do, I was working for a surveying company. So GIS, you know, GIS data, we collect that data. So but I was doing underwater collection of data using sonar. So we used to do mapping of the sea. We make a Google Street View of under the sea. Basically, that's the simplest I could say, or the Google Earth of the under the sea. And then with the drone, why we needed the drone? Because why we did the survey in the beginning was everyone's using internet right now. We're using the internet right now, kan? Yeah. Internet connectivity. Now between countries, how do they connect the internet? With a fiber optic undersea cable. So we used to do cable route survey. That's what we used to do. So you will give me the desktop study, and I said from New Zealand to Australia, this is the route for the cable. And then we get the route, the desktop study, and then I use my sonar on the ship. So I was on the ship for 2.5 months going between New Zealand and Sydney, like 3 kali, but my speed, the ship was the speed was only going 10 kilometers an hour. It was so slow.
Oh, wow. So very boring trip.
Boring. Yeah. But then the cable when the cable comes out of the water, it goes to the beach and the land. So we needed to survey that using the drone. So before I could do that, I needed to have the certified drone license. So I did the course in Australia. So I became a certified drone pilot in Australia. So then we could do, when we finished the survey on the offshore survey, then we do the land survey with the camera on the drone. So then we can put the two data together, so we know where the cable will go from the sea up to the land into the thing. So then we can improve everyone's internet. Yeah, make your internet faster.
Wow.
That's the whole point. All of that work we did just to make people's internet faster.
Yeah. This one good message for the viewers here, bahkan untuk ngerjain sesuatu aja kita perlu nambah ilmu dulu untuk ngerjain. So never stop learning. Benar-benar kita pasti akan nemu sesuatu yang dimana kita harus ambil. Nah, the problem is you need to be certified drone pilot. So you have to take all the courses, you have to learn, you have to practice, you have this test. Wow. Dan itu juga it's never a loss. It's never a loss. You add one skill out of it and make, I'm so kagum.
No, it's like, for example, during the drone course, I just tell you. So they teach me how to fly the drone. They teach me to do the survey planning, and we had to talk to the airport to have permission to fly in the area. Bahkan even I had to fly a plane. The guy made me fly a plane. What? Yeah, a Cessna. A real plane.
Wow.
They took me to the airport, and then he put me in the cockpit, and then he's like, like a trainer. So the real pilot is there. So we took the plane to the runway, and he goes, "Oh, please radio that you want to take off." So then I radioed, I want to take off, and then they said, "Okay, please take off." And then this is my first time. I have never flown a plane before. Why are you telling me to fly this plane? Because just pull that stick and then lift the lever up. I was like, okay. So I did it. Okay. And then we were flying around. And then the guy, he goes, "Okay, it's your turn to land the plane." I was like, "No, I give up. No. I'm not going to land the plane. No way. So I said, "You land the plane." I took my hands away. I ran away. There's no way. I'm going to crash the plane. I was too scared. But yeah, wow. So that drone course, they actually make you fly a plane. Yeah. Because to make you understand where the drone, in which area will affect aircraft, because we're sharing the same airspace. So if we're flying a drone and if the drone gets hit by the airplane, it's a safety hazard. So I put my life on the line while learning about the dangers of drones. Yeah.
Yes. Wow. Waduh. Ini seru banget ya, seru banget ngobrol sama Mas Yusuf ini, banyak banget experience-nya, banyak banget learning curve-nya juga keren banget. Jadi wow. We unfortunately we only have this much of times, so I believe you have something to say to the younger generation here. What should they do to become an impactful person?
So, okay, impactful person. People say follow your passion, but that's kind of hard. You bring your passion with you wherever you go. You bring the passion with you. and then you make what happen. Doesn't matter if some people are in your way, the boss is in the way, or whatever. You just keep doing what you want to do, what you feel like you want to do, and just do it and make it happen, make it work. If you feel like you want to make a change in the community, you go and do it. And if there's some people that doesn't support you, there's going to be like 100 or 1,000 people that will support you. Don't feel down. You know, you're not alone. Never feel alone, because there is people out there that's willing to they're going to help you pull you up, you know. So never feel alone, because a lot of startup founders, they're alone. They feel like they're by themselves, and they get bashed up by this and that, by so many things, but they have the support. They need to find the support. You have support out there, you just need to find it. Never feel alone. You can achieve what you put your mind to do, because the mind over matter, right? The mind is the ultimate machine. Like, you can, if you master your mind, you can master anything. So, and I would also give like one if I wish I knew this before as well, is I wish I knew about financial things first. I wish I knew how to become financial secure and financially stable.
Yeah.
Then I could gain my financial freedom faster. Then you could do anything that you want. So it was so nice. Someone said, I need to help. Can you help me? Okay, I can langsung help you. Yeah. But that's just me. That's just me. So yeah.
No. I think I believe this message is for me. Last night I can't sleep, like, you know, until 4 a.m. in the morning, and I'm just thinking, like, you know, that you said startup founder is very lonely. It's a very lonely journey. Yes, that was very true. And sometimes you feel like you didn't do enough good. People call it imposter syndrome, maybe. Sometimes. So I think, yes, we are never alone.
You're never alone. Because you're too hard on yourself. You want to have something perfect, but the real world is not perfect. So what you should do is make incremental changes, not one big, huge change. So you make data-driven decisions. You say, I have a hypothetical. If I try this, how will the people react? Is it going to be a nice thing or a bad thing? You just do small incremental change, and then just follow on from that. Because, you know, you can't build a whole house, you know, at once. You need to put one brick at a time. You need to put the foundation first. You have to mulai, all of us mulai dari nol. You know, in the beginning, I tried to get into university, right? From high school. This is my own personal story. I tried to get into university from high school. They rejected me. Why? Because my math score was not enough.
Yeah.
So what did I do? I didn't cry or anything. I was like, I mean, I felt kind of bad, but then my friend said, hey, come and work. And then I started working as a computer assembly. So I started assembling computers. And that's how I started my journey. That's how I can say I have 16 years of work experience, because straight from high school, I started working. And then after that, I could, but then again, you still need that piece of paper. You still need to be certified. So don't stop learning. You still need it. So then I used that to get advanced diploma. And then after that, I finally got into university. So yeah, never stop learning.
Yeah. What a journey. So cool. Keren banget, Mas. Jadi memang helpful banget buat teman-teman yang mau tahu progres itu apa sih. Progres itu bukan 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 terus naik turun, itu juga progres loh. Ada waktunya apa ya, buat saya, for me life is not like, you know, a wheel. Life is not like a wheel. Sometimes you're on the upside, sometimes you're on the outside. No, life is like you're going to somewhere in mountain, jalan puncak. And the road is like, you know, turn left, turn right. It's very steep, sometimes down, but anyway, you go up. Yeah, you'll reach the top. That's wow. Thank you for the message. It's definitely for me.
But one tiny little bit message also is like, there's a lot of colonials. So you got the colonial and the millennial. You got the older generation and the young generation.
Yeah.
The old generation, okay, the young generation, they can just Google all the knowledge, right? Tapi they don't know how to implement it. They don't know how to execute it. Tapi the colonial, they've already executed. They already know how to do it in the most efficient way. So we need to work together to do the knowledge transfer. So the young people, they don't have to start from dari nol and do a stupid mistake that the colonial already made a long time ago.
Yeah.
That's how we can make real progress. So all you young people, if you can find a mentor around you, some older person, I mean, you don't have to like feel ego to them. It's okay to ask for help. You can ask them for some advice. You don't know their 5 minutes of advice could save you $1 million later. You don't know that, right?
Yeah.
So the only thing that's antara between the colonial and the millennial kadang-kadang is ego. Where two egoists to face each other. You know, like the older one will say, you don't know what you're doing. You're too young. The young one will say, oh, you're too old. We're already in the modern age. So, but there's some concepts, there is some processes that is the same. Antara, you know, as we go along. So we need to learn from each other. We cannot isolate each other. Sorry, I cut you again.
No, I know. My daughters, like, they're sometimes I told them, like, did you know this? I know, papi. They already know from the Google. I know everything. Like, I never got the answer. Oh wow, is it true?
Yeah.
They just answer, I know.
Yeah.
But you know,
but the difference is I know it's different to, can you make it? Can you do it?
Yes.
No, I don't. Yeah, that's the second part. Yeah. So turning knowledge into wisdom, that is the trick. Yeah.
And wisdom every time. Yeah. Wow, that's okay. This is my last question. My last request for Mas Yusuf. Tell me about yourself in 3 words.
Oh my God, what is that? Curious, empathic, technical.
Wow, good combination. Curious, empathic, and technical. It answers all. Keren banget. Thank you so much, Mas Yusuf. I wish I can meet you in person, and maybe we can talk like hours and hours. It's very, very, very insightful, very sangat berprestasi for me, ya, sangat berprestasi, but very humble person. Wow.
I'm just sharing, man. I'm just sharing. It's not for showing off. I'm just want to share the experience.
Yes.
So maybe people can, learn from it or get something from it. Yeah.
Thank you. This is the true definition of langit tidak perlu membuktikan dirinya tinggi. Everyone knows langit is tinggi.